Hey y'all, 67-62 U of H wins. What a weird game, a game of runs. Let's take it around. Starns, what's your big stat of the day?
My roommate's coming in.
That is a
Awesome.
terrible stat.
U of H started the game 6 of 12 with 5 offensive rebounds.
Yep.
Then went on to hit 4 of their next 25 shots.
That's not good.
So that was between 12:58 in the first half to 7:16 in the second half. So that's about
That
15
doesn't
minutes.
sound very good at all.
That's about 15 minutes. And then they go down 7. Kelvin Sampson calls timeout. U of H finishes. They go 9 of their next 16 and finish 17-34 and win the game.
Okay. Brad, what's your first thought coming out of this game?
I don't have any fancy stats, but
Didn't ask you for one.
J1.
You're the fat guy. Okay.
J1 worked his ass off, fed the big man, and let him eat. In a night that the guards were, by and large, pretty bad. The shooting
bad
was
offensively.
bad. The offense was pretty stagnant. To win titles, you got to have people step up. And Juwan stepped up huge. Played great offensively, played good, very good defensively, and cleaned up the boards well. Got us out to an early lead, just pounding the glass. But he finished up strong and played a great ball game. Exactly what we needed.
Juwan was 6 of 9 for 12 points and 5 boards in the second half. He played all 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Galen, take Juwan out of it. Tell me what you got.
Ugly win, but winning on the road in the Big 12 it's tough to do. We were plus 20. I think we got 20 more shots than they did. So we got 16 offensive rebounds. We had less than 5 turnovers. So if you rebound and take care of the ball, we didn't make shots, but if you at least do 2 out of 3, then you give yourself a chance to win, to have a big time win on the road.
Yeah, you did shoot 50% in the second half. Now, you shot like 0% in the first half.
Yeah.
But,
yeah,
they shot the ball well. They got it inside and stopped settling for bad three-pointers. They only shot 5 in the second half, which it felt like they shot 30 in the first half.
4 of them were from Jamal.
Yeah. Cincinnati scored 31 points from their bench, which was half their points, which is crazy. Or, yo, that's crazy. But I'm going to, if I have to say who I thought was a difference maker, I'm going to talk to you who I talked with Thursday night, and that's Malik Wilson.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Malik Wilson had himself a hell of a second half.
Hey, Ryan, I counted. He made 8 culture plays in the second half. 8 culture plays. Yep. Got us extra possessions. I think he got 1 transition steal that stopped their break. Could have been an easy 2-point play. Malik was definitely a difference maker, and when that's the thing about opportunity, is that you never know when it's going to happen. But you just got to keep putting the work in as if the next game is going to happen. And sure enough, LJ was in foul trouble. Malik gets tossed in there. He understands what he has to do. He brought energy. He played great defense, and he was key in giving us extra possession, and he made some big shots.
7 rebounds, 3 steals, and then those 2 big shots.
And you said 8 culture plays?
8. It was an offensive rebound, a jump ball, that midi, that loose ball that I think it led to we got a steal, another offensive rebound, a transition steal, offensive rebound, steal, midi. Crazy.
You could have just been making that up, and we're all going with it.
You just never know. Hey, but you can watch the film. You just never know when it's going to happen. It seems like early in that middle of the second half, every play kind of had his name on every play. He was everywhere.
Yeah. You got off to a bad start in that second half, and you thought this was about to get away from you. And Kelvin calls that timeout. What do you think was said in that timeout there, Galen?
It's probably just a regroup. you know, that fifth third, man, it gets loud as hell up in there. You know, so I would assume it was probably a regrouping type of timeout. Just guys, just settle down. We're good. Like it's 18 minutes left or however much time was left. Just settle down.
Yeah, they said it was the biggest crowd since they renovated it about 5 years ago while you were in school. So that's pretty good. Jizzy was cooking you up, but that did not. Oh, look at an eye. I don't have my glasses on. Dissatisfied with the W. I just don't understand this way of thinking.
No,
it makes
that was a
no
typo.
sense.
That was a typo. Lower, he says done, so he meant done.
Oh, well, that's a huge typo. Okay.
Huge typo.
Because
I'm about to tell you block whoever that was.
I was going to say, you're now 8-3. That's 3 road wins in this conference. And you thought that was going to be pretty good. Yeah. From now on, it's definitely house money.
Anybody else got 3 wins on the road in the conference?
I don't think so, but they could. Who knows? Who's really even watching? So talk about, Galen, about what U of H and Texas has 3. I forgot about that. They're 3-2 on the road. They were 1-4 at home. They won today, so they're 2-4
they're the
at
only
home.
one that can't protect home.
Yeah. Oh well. But they'll get their chance on the road again next Saturday. That should be a good bit of fun.
Absolutely.
Galen, when you're a point guard and you're being called on to shoot a lot, or the offense is going through you and you just don't have it, is it the right play to keep going, or do you need to start looking for the big guy, looking for the other shooters?
I just feel like when Maul is aggressive, he gets in the paint, and you know, if he misses, it's gonna be a miss that's retrievable.
Okay.
So he can get by, you know, anybody who's guarding him. So whenever he's in a fearless mindset, I feel like our team is different. Because obviously we follow the head of the snake, which is Jamal, and if he's in attack, it puts the rest of our team in attack. Whereas against Kansas, he wasn't attacking, and our team just looked discombobulated. So I'll roll with Jamal being aggressive, whether he goes 5 for 20 or 18 for 20. I'm rolling with that every day of the week, especially on the road, because if he has that mindset, it's only beneficial to our team.
Galen will go with Jamal when he's shooting 18 for 20. I think that's important. When he's shooting 90%, he's definitely going to go. There's no live post-game presser. That's just how it works. But Jeff Conrad will have it in about 20 or 25 minutes, I would guess. No Houston media made the trip. So there's really nobody there to ask Kelvin very much, which I'm sure he's fine with. One of my keys was Malik getting Dunn's minutes. Well, Malik has earned everything he's got. And I am so happy.
I just feel like the role that's available, I feel like it more so fits Malik rather than Dame. Just because, you know, Dame, he is a option A scorer who's not an option A on this team. Whereas like Malik he's more able to do the dirty work, you know, get the deflections, get the extra possessions. He's more equipped to do that. Not saying that makes him a better player, but for what this team needs, that is, you know, he has a better chance of fulfilling that role. And that's not saying that there will come a time where Dame and his offensive ability will help us win a game. But I was just making some notes during the game, and it was just like every time he got the ball, shot fake, and it's like he kind of drove to where there was traffic. It's like drive where space is, you know, give yourself a chance. And I just feel like he's not even giving himself a chance for his offense to be effective, you know.
Obviously doesn't seem comfortable just on a catch and shoot quite yet.
And it was a lot of bad positions that he was in, and it's just like he was never a catch and shoot guy anyway, and probably will never be as a type of guy who needs the ball. But I just feel like with his ability and with his strength, if he was to close out shot fake, go drive to space, I feel like that would help him. But he's been kind of driving into traffic, just almost like a deer in headlights. But I mean, I know he's putting in the work, and it's just like, just kind of like with Malik. You never know when your opportunity and when your number is gonna be called. Who knows? E-Man might have some foul trouble or whoever, and it's just like now you're up and you have to produce. So it's just like you got to continue putting in work as if you're already having desired results.
Right. Yeah, I think the biggest thing that when Malik came in, we were throughout most of the end of the first half and coming into the early second half, we were doing a lot of stationary one-on-one stuff and couldn't get to the rim. And so you got to dribble, pass, dribble, pass, dribble, pass. What Malik was able to do, and actually, Emmanuel started it off, is he was able to beat their guy. And I think that's one thing that Malik brings, that where you say he is a fit, I see him as being a fit is because he can take somebody off the dribble.
Yeah.
He can beat his guy one-on-one.
Malik is super, but Malik is super duper athletic. He's easily the most athletic guard we have by far.
And when we can get the ball to the paint, then that opens up everything. It gives our shooters a chance to really spot up and shoot.
And then if you get a floater off in the paint with our bigs and their athleticism and their anticipation, that's an easy miss for them to get on the rim and put back dunk. But it's just like one thing I've learned that I had the benefit of. I'm grateful that Coach Sampson was my coach. Is a lot of guys think they can only affect the game scoring, and there's so many more aspects of basketball, and like with Coach Sam, we used to always say, like, if your offense isn't flowing or isn't going the way you want it to go, get lost in another aspect of the game. Over talk on defense, over help, like do something else that's not offense to help the team. But guys, that their mindset is so fixated on scoring, that's the only way you can be effective. And it's just like, when you can't depend on scoring every night.
Yeah. When a guy like Malik can affect the game, it's not going to be shooting, right? He's going to do it on defense, rebounding. He can score, but he's not a shooter. Galen, I have a question for you from one of our commenters, Sean Piper. Last assists to field goals made. How do we get guys better looks with ball movement?
This
was a big problem in the first half.
Yeah, but that's just the trends of the game. There's like very rarely will you see a team, let alone in Big 12, play on the road, just play good, steady offense the entire game. That's just not going to happen. You got the crowd, you got the team who, like for today, the biggest crowd since the gym opened. So obviously the other team is juiced. They're ready to play. They're excited. You got the top 5 team coming to your arena. So, and then you got one true point guard. So that's a heavy offensive load that's on Jamal's back. And granted, the type of kid he is, he's just been owning it. But it's not easy, and there will be dips. And it's like that's part of what you have to deal with. But at the end of the day, a win is a win. Can you argue with the result?
Yeah, and I don't think, y'all may correct me if I'm wrong, but I think the last few years or since Kelvin Sampson's been here, this team has never had like a crazy, assist to field goal percentage on offense.
Yeah.
And I just think that's sort of the play style. You could say that's bad or good. It works. They won a lot with it. And I think he does prioritize guys being able to get their own shot and taking people off the dribble and things like that.
And let alone like it'll be a good pass, good shot. He missed offensive rebound. That's not an assist, but that's an assist to us,
Yeah.
Yeah. And when you're killing a team in second chance points, that makes a huge difference.
Man, absolutely.
It was 22-14 tonight. U of H also misses a lot of layups, and that takes a lot of assists off the table.
Mm-hmm.
And so you've got to kind of count that. And they were bad. Well, Cincinnati was bad. They were under 50% laying the ball up.
It would
a lot to do with U of H defense.
Like with somebody who makes that assist to field goal comment, that like you would think that we're getting bad shots, and it's like we were getting. I thought for the most part we were getting above
Pretty good.
average shots, but pretty good look, especially on the road. But it's just like sometimes the ball goes in, sometimes it doesn't. But that's why you always got. That's why we hang our hat on offensive rebounding.
Okay. We cleared that all up. Here's another one. Why does the offense seem to stagnate? So I think a lot of people had an issue in the first half. There did not seem to be very much ball movement or player movement. We burning you up here, Galen? We getting you
No,
hot?
I mean it's just it's just the wine, man. You know.
Oh, okay. All right. So stagnant offense, ball not moving, players not moving. What's that about?
I mean, me just personally, just speaking from experience, it's just gonna happen because basketball is a game of runs. So that's one of those things, and especially with how our offense is, like Jamal is our only true guard. When he goes to the bench, it's more so like not necessarily anybody to create. So you have to kind of pick where you want the ball to go. But our offense isn't bad. Like I don't think that's what people don't like. We're getting other teams' best shot every night.
Yeah.
So it's like we're getting good shots but it's just like there's nobody in America who just has a good looking offense for the entire duration of the game. There will be highs, there will be lows, but the end of the day, the goal is to win.
Yeah, and I mean, this offense looks different on the road than it does at home. At the home, it looks, I mean, a lot better. I feel like, especially on the road, and I think that's pretty natural. I mean, you'd like it to be closer, but I think that's just kind of how it is.
And it's just like people don't understand that fifth third, man. Like, and that is a good defensive team. Wes is a hell of a coach. That is a tough place to play. And for our guys, like even like JoJo at the end of the game, stepping up to the line, making 1 of 2 like that, we needed that. Like it might seem like we needed that one free throw. And that is a tough environment. That is a tough team to beat.
Yeah. I just don't like pleasant comments about really any Cincinnati coach on my show. If you could refrain from that in the future, that would be great.
You got game recognized game, man. You gotta.
I tell you what, once he got the technical foul for bitching about the foul calls, the calls started coming.
They did.
Nah,
they fed that little rat
hell
some
of a
cheese.
coach. Yeah.
I mean,
Hell of
it's
a coach,
hard to pull off black skinny jeans, but here he is. He's doing it. I think it was mentioned a little during the game, and I have wanted to ask you about this for a while. Jamal plays so hard on both ends of the floor and plays so many minutes that in the start of the offense, it's kind of a bit of a breather for him, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he gets that first 10 or 15 seconds, he needs to calm it down.
Yeah.
And people get really upset that you're not just transition offense all the time, running and gunning.
Yeah.
It's just not what it's ever going to be, but you can't expect a point guard who's playing 35 plus minutes to be able to be that good on the defensive end. And then
at the time that they said that on the broadcast, we needed to take the air out of the ball. You got to pull everybody back because that's when Cincy was starting to go on that run. You got to pull everybody back.
Yeah, exactly. You can't
get everybody settled. Hey, we know what we're going to do. Here's, whatever hand call you got to do. This is the play we're going to run. And speaking of, other than having Malik going to the rim, I thought Kelvin did a great job on a couple of possessions in the middle of the second half. We were a little bit stagnant, and they started scoring a couple of points. He went to a more of a motion down low. So he was down screening the post and then doing a back screen off of that to create more movement within the offense itself. And I think we scored 2 or 3 times directly off that because he running those sets created movement instead of Cincy just everybody kind of holding back to the lane and looking to close out.
Yeah.
They forced them to move and got their head moving. My whole philosophy in any kind of sports, if you make players think, you make them slow down.
Exactly, and let alone like,
and if you move their eyes,
yeah, and you can cause a mistake, and then it's like we have the ball on offense, and it's like the other team, the crowd is like yelling because we're on offense, but little do they know that hurts their ability to communicate on the defensive end.
Right.
Like I remember asking Coach Kellen, I was like, Coach, why would they? I don't know what I was thinking one day. I was like, Coach Kellen, why would they like yell when their team is? They need to hear each other communicate. Why not like yell whenever their team is on offense? He was like, gee, that was a really point guard question. And I was like, damn, I appreciate that, brother. Because it's like, why the hell are you yelling and we trying to talk on defense? Like, why is the gym that loud and we can't hear each other? Like, that just doesn't make sense to me.
UConn, pretty good on offense. UConn plays a really bad schedule in the Big East. And I don't think that's a very good league.
Yeah, definitely not.
They went to Georgetown today and won. Okay, cool.
Shocker there.
Yeah, all right. Yeah. They've put good offense up against DePaul, other schools in that league. And I mean, they're really good. They're very good. But you get them in a real environment. If they were playing this schedule in this league every night, that offense would not look the same.
Yeah, not at all. Not at all.
What's like
playing DePaul? DePaul is. When was the last time DePaul got a win that was?
I would hire you to coach DePaul right now. Like that's how bad that job is.
We'd win some fucking games. We'd win some fucking because it'll be bubble drill people don't understand how much of winning. Like I think it was second half. Emmanuel got a rebound that was over like probably 3 Cincinnati players.
Mm-hmm.
It's just effort.
Oh yeah,
and that was a winning play like that. And it's just like Coach Sam, you can kind of see him in the back. He just did his little fist bump and walked back. And it's like that's what he expects because that's what he demands in practice. So it's no shocker to him when something like that happens, But it's a friend for sure. It's like, oh, that guy just got a board over there. Like it's like that's not abnormal for us. You know what I'm saying? So it's just effort and desire. That's all you have to coach. And Coach Sam has figured out a way to just maximize that.
Yeah. Fran is shorter than me. So it's understandable he doesn't understand how you would rebound over 3 guys.
I'm getting tired of him like just spilling our secrets on the damn broadcast. Like, goddamn, Fran, shut the fuck up. You saying too much, bro.
Has he done every
damn
near
near
12 game?
It's like he says like
everything
the same
that
stories.
has not been on everything that's not on ESPN Plus. I think he's done. Going back to Iowa State, in the snow. Galen, I think you could make DePaul a very good defensive team. I also think at some points there would only be 4 guys on the floor because you just forget. But
or you just go out there and play.
Or you're right, player coach like the old baseball days.
My Bill Russell shit.
Okay, we've got a lot of DePaul comments, and I did not mean for this to go to DePaul. That is not what I was hoping for. No, y'all. No.
Definitely. Yeah.
Badass play from Sharp. Definitely. He's. I really like the role players on this team. There's no star. In every other program, you think the guy that shoots the shots is the star, but that's not the case here. And there are nights when Emmanuel is the guy. Yeah. And tonight, the guy was Jawan. And Starns and I were texting early in the game, and he had a couple of bad shots early in this game. And I was like, uh-oh.
He had a crossover drive, and he just airmailed a lefty layup that I thought was pretty incredible.
Yeah. Starns, you got dark again. I don't know what's happening over there, buddy. We need to get you some light.
Sun's going down.
Yes, it is.
Now, this is an idea. Galen would not understand to only drink when Fran says one other or certain things, but yeah.
Good one.
I just drink every time. When Judge Tugler gets on the court, you could just, and this could be for any game, just how many times does the broadcast mention his wingspan?
Or his age. It's like he's a
Or his
freshman.
age.
We fucking get it. He's young. Shit, Fran. You say it all. You say it. You only say it every game.
Mom,
But
that
I'll give
was
him- I'll give
Galen
him a-
using the bad words, not me.
I'll give him a break just because he calls every one of our games.
Yeah. And I mean,
And
It gets old for us because I mean he's basically working our beat.
Yeah.
So other people who are tuning in, they might see us play every now and then.
Fran shared my student manager story last year, so I will always appreciate him for that.
Oh, brother.
What?
hey, that was a Go
Fucking with the
Cougs
Stars.
piece of content there,
It
buddy.
was. It was.
That's your last chance, Galen. Galen, talk about conditioning connection to the Cougars defense. You have to be in shape. You can't look like Towns or me.
Yeah, it's our conditioning is lightened up over the years. Coaches, they say coaches going a little soft, but like I remember like dudes like throwing up, just can't cramping. It's not for everybody. And that's when Coach Samp right there, that's when he's testing your mental toughness and how much you're able to withstand. But I feel like our conditioning when I feel like Coach Samp and Coach Bishop, they're on the same page. They're a good compliment. Coach Samp really gives Coach Bish because like Coach Bish is an expert in his field, just like Coach Samp is an expert in his field. So Coach Samp just gives Bish the complete control. He knows that what's good for our guys, and I feel like there's a direct correlation. Especially in the weight room and the stuff that Bishop wants guys to get stronger at. There's a direct correlation to our defense, to how that translates to our toughness as a team. It's very like I feel like Bishop runs like a team-oriented type of environment where it's like we're all kind of dependent on each other, and it's just like when you go on the road, like a game like Cincinnati, it's team and you're only dependent on each other. It's just y'all against everybody. So it's like I feel like the environment that we create in the summer with our conditioning and our practices, it translates to games that we can win on the road and even at home.
Is this Bish something you just started? Because I've never heard anybody call him that. And that sounds a little.
Yeah. We call him Bish. Yeah, we call him Bish.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I wouldn't. You see how big that dude is? I wouldn't dare call.
Big
I wouldn't
guy.
dare play with his name. Yeah, hell no.
I said, Bish.
Bish about 6'5", 250. I ain't playing. Nah, brother.
Bish about 6'5". Yeah. I don't understand anything.
Look like Bish like Johnny Bravo.
We get it. We all look alike. Bishop spoke at length preseason about how big recovery would be. And I think you've seen that just in how road games have looked. You've had a couple of road games that come on quick turnarounds. TCU and Texas. And now you're going to see teams start doing that coming to U of H, where they're going to, like Iowa State next Monday has basically 12 hours between the end of their game and flying to Houston. And so that's going to be difficult. And U of H gets this week, I think they'll have a kind of an easy Sunday, Monday, and then probably turn it up after that. Probably
One
a day
thing
off
I would
tomorrow.
say, I'd say Bish does a great job of in the weight room is creating a lot of his lifts are injury prevention and they increase muscular endurance. So it's like to increase muscular endurance, let's say you're doing a pull-up. You're not just boom, 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 boom. You're like slow up, slow down. So he's a beast in that field, and he's figured out a way to like just help our guys just eliminate the possibility of injury and also increase recovery.
Okay. Is there anybody else that needs to be highlighted? I don't even remember seeing Ramon Walker really in this game, which was kind of odd.
Remember you get
I remember him getting a couple big boards. Yeah, if I'm not mistaken.
He did. He had a board. Yeah.
I thought LJ, because he was in foul trouble all game, and then him coming in like 14 minutes cold
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
and then hitting that runner
That
that
shot.
basically sealed it. That was pretty impressive. And then also that inbounds play on the baseline when it was like the last play of the game, basically, where they were able to get it to Juwan. They all like set up like they were about to run like an air raid,
Yeah.
and then they
They
get it
got
to
it to
Juwan. I thought that
E-Man.
was pretty
Yeah.
wild.
One thing I will say though is like depending on matchups, Moan and Malik, they have similar roles. Their roles are to make winning, momentum changing plays. And it was just the fact that today was Malik's day. And depending on matchups, who's to say the next game that, let's say, one of our bigs gets into foul trouble, you got to throw Ramon in there. Who's to say that he can't do the same thing? Because we've all seen him since a freshman make winning plays on the road that helped us win. So it just boils down to what we need in whatever particular matchup.
Kansas
will-
is up 28-21 over Baylor. It's apparently
You,
not the
you
Super
gotta,
Bowl
you gotta,
again.
you gotta, you gotta say that better. But I thought you said up 28. I'm about to say, damn.
Well, you were
Allen is a
talking over me.
motherfucker.
Yeah,
I don't-
no, they're up 5.
I don't know who said it earlier. Somebody mentioned that Jizzle James guy. Him and
gonna-
that kid is going to be a problem.
Hey,
Oh
he
my
is
God.
good.
That
Yes.
kid can
Oh
move.
my
I've never.
God.
I'll say this. I saw him cook.
Dynamic.
I saw him cook Jamal a couple of times, and I've never seen that. Never seen
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen Jamal get beat, but usually he's able to keep his body. I mean, this time he got
was
him
out of the
completely
play.
shook. Yeah. So that was. I mean, that kid's going to be a handful.
Man.
Yeah. He looks exactly like his
The,
dad.
the jump that he's gonna make from this year to next year gonna be crazy. Crazy.
If you watch any
Hey, Gwen.
Cincinnati games, it's mentioned that he's Edgerrin James's son about 40 times. Like it's the
Yeah.
JoJo Tugler 19, 7'6" wingspan. That's the same thing. I mean, he comes from a pretty good family. That's pretty good stock.
Pretty decent
Uh,
genetics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would be
Just
okay
like
with
just
that.
like Galen.
Just like Galen. When you're exhausted, want to quit, how does Kelvin motivate you to keep pushing? He chokes you. He just
I I just I could just vividly remember. It just Coach Semp, his objective in the summer, whenever it's his turn to kind of dictate things, like he's trying to make you quit. But it's like the thing that we do as a team is like we're forced to lean on each other. So like that thought, like obviously it was easier for me to power through certain things than let's say Breon or Chris Harris. But the thing is, we're forced to lean on each other, and you know that I can't let these guys down. So you kind of got to power through it. And the last thing that you want to see on film is you giving up on a play when everybody else is playing hard, and you're the weak link. And Coach Sampe always says you're only as strong as your weakest link. You don't want to be that guy.
Right.
So he's done a tremendous job just holding guys accountable, and it's a competitive thing. So it's like I'm not about to quit before he does. Like I'm going to outlast him.
Mhm.
So it's just he does a great job of creating a relentless type of mindset and just a championship culture.
I was going to say I don't know if I've ever played for a coach that if you were about to quit, they would pull you back from the edge. Everyone I've played for would usually kick you over the edge.
Man, he used to say like, son, I lost with you. I can sure as hell lose without you. If you want to quit, then quit. Oh man, that shit used to be crazy.
If you're sitting there hanging on the ledge, he's going to come and step on your foot on your hand.
I lost with you. I can sure as hell lose without you. That was when I first heard that. I'm like, damn, that was a bar. You sure as hell can't lose without him if you lost with him. Shit.
Oh Jesus Christ! Ryan's in an interrogation.
my fucking power went off, and now the lights are all a problem.
Oh, okay.
I don't like any of your attitudes.
Looks
I've
like,
had it's had 2 power surges today since the game started. I don't know what's happening.
thank goodness it transitioned directly over to your internet, transferred over to your Wi-Fi,
Well, it's a phone, so
your mobile.
whatever. Yeah. Talk.
We waiting
See,
on
I
you,
told
man.
you I was good at this transition stuff. The scoring droughts are concerning. Yeah, but if you look at the scoring droughts you had in this game, Cincinnati was having droughts right with you.
Yeah.
And, I just don't.
I'm just trying to figure out, like, what do people expect offense to look like? Like, just seamless, you make every shot and
60% every game.
yeah. Like,
If y'all could make every shot, that would
I
help.
mean, I'm not going to
Yeah,
lie.
for
I was frustrated, but more frustrated at the way we were going about it. Even when we were missing shots, we were missing good shots. We weren't taking terrible shots. Actually, some of the worst shots that we took are shots that we made.
literally.
I mean, I remember one of Emmanuel's 3-pointers.
Step back.
It was like a leaner.
It was like, whoa, okay. That was almost like
it counted, but that was
in.
probably the worst shot. His and LJ is probably the worst shots that we could have possibly made, and they were buckets.
Yeah,
like it just happens. But it's like Coach Sam used to always say, like, that other team has players on scholarship too, and they're trying to beat you. It's like they ain't about to just let you roll over them. Those guys, they got a prideful bunch in their locker room, so they're gonna be droughts. It's never like there will never be a time where a team doesn't have an offensive drought. Never be a time.
Yeah. And most teams don't have 4 shooters they can trot out at all times, like an NBA team, something like that.
Well, that's the thing in this. You always hear it's the cliche that basketball's a game of runs, and a new run is always right around the corner, and that's true. And especially here in the Big 12, because you're going to go cold on the road, and you're going to have to try to do everything you can to extend any possible run you possibly can. And sometimes there's not a whole lot you can do about it because they're playing defense too.
Exactly.
That's the one thing. That's the one thing about this league that I don't think that we're familiar with as fans is these teams all play defense. Everybody's
a good defense.
A lot of teams can shoot, but not everybody can play defense. And it just so happens you've got 10 to 12 guys that are playing defense here.
Yeah.
Teams, I'm sorry.
Please help. Any way you can.
I'll take a pay cut, Ryan.
Deal. So Wes Miller said this was as good an environment as you can have in college basketball. It matters. And I'm sorry we couldn't get over the hump. You have played the best environment in college basketball at Hilton, at TCU, at Cincinnati, at Kansas, at BYU. I mean, you played in 5 great environments. Also, Texas. And, I mean, the fact that you've gotten 3 wins out of that, I think is remarkable. You don't win those games. And you're just going to have to accept that it's not going to look pretty. And if you get a win, frankly, it should be, okay, check that off. Good. And you have to just move forward. Because no one's going to Fertitta and beating this team. I don't know who put that fucking thing on there, but take that off right now.
Swift and Natty.
Emmett O, is Damian the first bad culture fit? He's not.
No.
I don't think he's a bad culture fit. I just think it's not working. What his game isn't transitioning into this team. And going from a starter who gets the first 20 shots if he wants them to a guy who is the 7th option. It's hard. And I just don't think...
One thing that's really standing out to me about Damian, is not really him, it's the reaction to Damian. It doesn't matter what he does, no matter what, he's always going to be the problem. He can go out and score 12 points. He's going to score. He can go out and score 12 points and play pretty well, but he'll have two turnovers, and then he just doesn't fit. He's going to take the heat for everything. There's always one guy. There's always one guy on the team that's going to
You're
take all the
saying
heat.
the heat from fans.
Talking about. I remember Coach Sam when I think they had showed like it's when we were playing Kansas and they were showing like little clips from our practice, and he was like, "Hold on, I think he said like I almost thought that Malik and Damon had an idea of what they were doing." And I was like, Coach, you're a sick man. Sick man. But Dame's a tough kid, man. And although I feel like it's in a weird way for us to have high expectations of him is our respect for his game and his ability to produce. So I know our coaching staff and I know he's putting in the extra work. It's like you just gotta keep going, man. You never know when your opportunity. It may come in March, and when we're playing in a close game on March Madness and against whoever, that might be you never know when it's gonna happen. But you have to, you got to keep working. You can't give up, and you can't just start slacking.
Yeah. And Damian Dunn is cursed because of the transfers you've had that have come in here and made a huge contribution from day one. Josh Carlton was that way. Now,
but I say
you have one on the team right now, LJ.
Yeah,
right. LJ is who I was talking about.
They were. I just feel like they were allowed to be who they were.
Right.
Whereas Dame, he's like had his role changed, and I feel like that's the difference. And we're talking about. I think Dame's a 5th-year guy. Mm-hmm. That's a grown ass man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's just like
he's got a kid.
Wife.
That's a grown ass man and a father. Like what I'm saying? Like it's a little different when you lived 20 however many years of your life being this, and all of a sudden for a 7-month season you gotta alter that. So but he's gonna figure it out, and there's gonna be a time where just like at BYU that his production kind of it propelled us. There's going to be another time where it's going to be more pivotal and the stakes are going to be bigger, and he's going to rise to the occasion.
And again, guys like him, especially his play style, but just I think role players in general, they play better at home. And I think the last several home games he's been fine. And I think last game I said, between Ramon, Malik, and Damian, if you can get one of those guys on the road to give you big minutes, you'll feel fine. And they got it from Malik today, and they haven't gotten it from Dunn really since the BYU game. But you only need so much from your bench with this team, and of course you'd like to have it all, but can't really expect it.
I mean, I know it's a long time ago, but Hugh really struggled year one with us. It took him a long time to find
it wasn't seamless. Yeah, like that's what people seem to forget. Like they just remember the finished product as opposed to the process.
Mm-hmm. Right. And he didn't fit in. Jizzle James, Kelvin on Jizzle. He doesn't look like a freshman. He's a big, strong guard. I like his game a lot, and he's going to get better. Wes Miller said they came in and got 17 offensive boards and set the tone from the start. And then they had an 11-1 rebounding advantage, and Wes Miller said that's a problem. He also said that we didn't want to go too hard on CJ Frederick. That's the kid that was coming back from injury. And I don't know, they talked about him for 45 minutes in the pregame. He got 2 minutes in the game. It just made a big deal about this guy, and okay, but he did not play meaningful minutes. I mean, you're 8-3 in the Big 12. I don't think anybody with realistic expectations could be sitting here today, having gone to Hilton, having gone to BYU, having gone to Kansas, and now having gone to Cincinnati, and thought that was going to be where you were. 5 years ago, going to Cincinnati was this big deal, and all of a sudden it's not. It's still a really big deal to go there and to win in that arena.
It's hard to beat a team 10 times in a row.
Well, Cincinnati did it to this school and did it for 45 years. Well, they won 12. U of H won a game in 73. They won 12 more. And then Kelvin came on the scene, and they lost. U of H lost, I think, the first 3 or 4 maybe, and then Kelvin is about 500 or maybe a little better than that. But U of H was, I think it was 1-24 against this school. I mean, that's virtually impossible for that to happen. That's like Navy football against Notre Dame. Anyways. I mean, U of H had really good teams in a lot of those years and just couldn't get over the hump.
Well, and think of it like this. Remember when in the old Huggy days at Cincy when what's his name? Kenyon Martin was there? And they would
wild,
come in and they came
Man.
in and rolled in and just beat us physically.
Cincy,
That was
Think
like
of it this
a
way.
35
We are
or 40
now
point loss.
We are now those guys. We're going to come
Yeah.
in and we're going to beat you physically. And the younger folks there growing up are going to be telling the same stories that we tell about those old Cincinnati teams.
Yeah. Kenyon Martin is now
Cincy.
46 years old.
His son
I
is a
feel like
great
I just
player.
saw him play.
Cincinnati used to, like, I remember my freshman year, like the bigs they had, the guards they had, they used to punk the shit out of people. Like Coach Sam, I remember, if I'm remembering correctly, I think he said in the interview, like, that's what we're trying to get to. We just punking the shit out of people.
Yeah.
And those guys like Mick Cronin, man, like he's still to this day, but he's a hell of a coach. He was able to get those guys ready for whatever. Like they were the standard, and they were punking whoever was in front of them.
Yeah. I mean, Cincinnati shot 19 of 51 at home. They shot 37%. I just don't know how you can expect to, as a road team, to just be a lot better than a home team. And you were. And when it mattered, you certainly were.
I felt like that was a stretch between, like, it was like the late first half when they made their run and kind of like the first few minutes of the second half, where I felt like we were just doing too much, I don't want to say that word, but complaining. Like it was the ref this, the ref, like it just seemed like we were just complaining so much to the refs. And it's just like we're worried about the wrong thing, and that's why they're having the success that they're having. We're trying to look for an easy out. It's like just focus on the game. And I just felt like whenever we were able to, I think that might have been what Coach called the timeout, we were able to kind of recenter and, do what we do. But I thought it was like a healthy stretch when they went on their run and, we really had no answer. And that kind of flowed into the second half where we just kind of just weren't ourselves. There was a lot of complaining going on.
Yeah.
They foul trouble in the first half was I think really affected them a lot.
You said what? Repeat that?
That foul trouble in the first half with was it Javier, LJ, Emmanuel was
JoJo.
JoJo, yeah.
But when they pulled up 7, they had gone on like a 15-0 run at some point there. I mean, you just had no answer. And the fact that you came back from that and chipped away and took a lead and then stretched it out to, I think, 9. And then late in the game, you got to 10, right? And then they came back in within a minute, basically erased that. Yeah. Got it to 5, maybe to 3 at some point. And, glad Landers did not play.
That's crazy because he was texting me. I was texting him today, like, because I like talking shit. He liked talking shit to me, and I just respond.
Yeah.
But
right.
He was just telling me about like their team, and I was just like, he was like, they just need like a scorer, like they just need like a guy who they could just go to. And I remember like I think they had a guy in that last year as Jeremiah Davenport who transferred to Arkansas. If they would have had him, that would have been a big difference maker. And then Lander was like, shit, I could have stayed. And I was like, shit, brother, I'm glad you didn't. Because if you would have stayed, we definitely wouldn't have won that one. That kid is good. But yeah, I'm glad he was not in a uniform. I am glad of that. I am, for sure.
He hit like 8 threes last year at home against U of H, I believe.
He
they had
has
to
like
come back that game.
Great. he has a great pace to his game, like really savvy. Uses his shot fake well, and it's like in college, shot fake. Whenever you watch a guy, they tell you a guy shooting 40% and don't let him shoot, and you see him shot fake, you're gonna bite, and then he gonna attack the rim, and it's like the shot fake is the greatest move in college basketball.
You okay,
As simple
Starns?
as it is.
Yeah, I had to pull the charger out real quick. We're okay.
Okay.
Am I supposed to talk now?
I don't know. Who knows? Gonzaga got to win at Kentucky. That's
That's their
I don't
first
think
quad
they
one
had
win.
any quad one wins.
I was doing a quadruple take and had to look at my calendar. It's like, oh, look, Gonzaga, Kentucky. What the hell's going on here?
Yeah, me too. I was like, is this an old game? And Kentucky had on them old ass jerseys. I was like, am I tripping? Is this a flash from the past?
It's like you don't see non-conference games this late in the season that often.
Like, what was that though? Like, is that
Usually
usually those types of games happen in December?
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken. So what the hell going on?
I think Kentucky, you get that one spot where you get kind of a half a week off. They must have filled it with a non-conference game.
Like our week next week or whatever.
Right. If U of H would have played this coming Wednesday, I think that would be kind of the same thing, and that just would make no sense.
Galen, we talked a few games ago about when we had a long delay between games. I think we played Monday and then on a Saturday, or maybe a Sunday. And
well, that was last week. You played Monday and then Saturday at Kansas.
Yeah, and when you have a week, we're going Saturday to Saturday in this time of year. Is it a concern that you might kind of lose your flow, or is this just a really good time to kind of recuperate?
Both, but I'd say like let's say I think before we went on that little week, our win was Texas, right? So obviously that was a big win for our program, and Houston versus University of Texas, whatever it's worth. So if we would have lost that game, it would have been different. But you won that game, and it was a good win. And you got guys getting interviewed. Guys are feeling good about themselves. And it's just like, as bad as it sounds, is like you don't want guys feeling too good about themselves for too long. Especially when you're about to go you about to go into Fog Island, and it's about to be a sold out arena. So and that's why I think I said, like, whenever y'all said how long we had off, I was like, damn, that's just not good, because it's everybody's feeling good about it. Like, even the coaches might try to act like they're not feeling, but it's like, you're feeling good about winning at Texas. Like that. It's okay to admit. And guys getting interviewed and stuff and getting these specials, and coaches probably taking it super light. And so that's why you tend to lose focus in the good vibes, because it's too lax. Whereas if we would have lost, you kind of would have been a little bit on edge going into that environment. So, it's just I'm just not a fan of those, just because whenever we had games like that, it was always a loss, or it was a super close win, even though it shouldn't have been super close.
Right. Well, if they need to get knocked down a peg or two, just go read Reddit game threads. that'll bring them down to earth real quick.
Reddit, LOL.
I was gonna talk shot fake, and my phone almost killed me. Yeah, that ain't great. You've heard this stat all week that teams right after they play Cincinnati, they're 0-9 this year, and I think Texas may have just been the first to win. So this is not the typical break after that, but that's something to watch for next week.
And also, I think they said I think they said like Cincy is 10-1 with leading at half, and I think they had a 5 or 7 point lead. And obviously we were able to. Yeah.
Does he have a mid-range game? He thinks he does.
No,
he's
he doesn't.
very convinced.
He ain't shot it yet.
Yeah.
So he might. Yeah, he don't think he does.
He took a little jumper today. wasn't.
He took
didn't
a
hit.
one-handed. Yeah, one needs to go. Like they are giving him right, but he's just so comfortable being. It is like, bro, the right hand is just so open. It's like you work on it every day. Why not just try it one time? One time.
Is that something coaches are saying to him? Go right, go right, go right.
I know Coach Kelly's telling him. I know he is. I know he is for a fact.
So where's the disconnect? How does he not try that?
It's not a disconnect. It's just you're gonna always revert back to what you're most comfortable doing. So it's just like I wouldn't say it's a disconnect. It's just I can go right, but shit, it's left. I'd rather do this, and he's gonna try to go through hell and high water to get to that left hand, and it's like, but they're giving you. It's an easier. Like he doesn't. I don't feel like he understands that him getting right will open up his left because it makes like now. How do we guard you? What can we take away?
Yeah,
I like this comment right here. Could we raise NIL money for Juwan to go right?
Shit,
I never tried to attach conditions to it, but maybe we can work on that.
One right-handed shot per game, bonus.
Yeah,
$1,000. Fuck.
It's quite a bit for going right.
I guarantee you, it'd be a lot more. I guarantee it'll.
You think that would help?
His offensive efficiency for sure. For sure.
Well, I don't know if getting.
Hey Ryan, how much more would you exercise if somebody told you that if you ran a mile a day you get 1,000?
Oh my God.
None.
That's a much.
I mean, you're talking about at my age, 1,000. I mean, even though I don't have power, I can't afford electricity. But
you a damn lie.
No, I'm not.
For every mile
really
you run, I'll be running 5 miles.
Okay, that's not what you said. You said that's if you run every day, I'll give you $1,000.
For every mile you run, you get a band.
I would run a marathon every day. I wouldn't.
Man, Towns will have a 6-pack.
I would. I'd be putting miles in. I wouldn't care.
Man,
even if I had to do it on my knuckles.
I'd run until I have to go to the hospital and then use the money I made to go to the hospital.
Y'all are
to pay for the hospital bill.
Nobody's
and then
doing
just
that.
Keep going.
Shit, y'all don't know me.
Pay me $1,000 a mile. See what happens. Get back to my college weight.
How many pounds ago was that, Tom?
Oh, God.
Actually, you ain't even got to answer that, brother. Let's go to your questions.
A lot.
Come on, mama. Come on, mama. Come on. You can't be enabling this behavior.
I've just never been a runner. I'll do everything else. I'm not running. But yeah, thanks, Mom. Why did that's not the one. Lakin laid a goose egg. Cougs defense knows how to shut down. The damn comments moved, and so I think he was about to.
Locken was on a slump heading into the game.
That's too bad.
Yeah,
I feel like he's been
against us. Isn't a good game to find an offensive rhythm against.
Yeah,
correct.
Yeah.
This is the one I wanted to go to. Is why do our bigs not shoot the three during games? They practice it. It's just not right in the offense.
The thing is, Fave practiced that since his freshman year, and he finally shot it his senior year. That's what people are forgetting that. It's like
the first 3 years, I think he had 3 attempts.
Probably in the shot clock, but it's like you're gonna always revert back to what you're comfortable doing. Yeah, and until you put in the work to where that becomes second nature, and Cosent Cosent first, before you to even be able to do it, he has to believe in it. If he ain't believing in it, you're not gonna be able to do it. It's like with JoJo, right? It's like you're shooting 49% from the free throw line.
Yeah,
that's not a criticism. It's not a criticism. It's just an observation. I'm not about to let you shoot threes.
Now, it does make for very good content. People love seeing it. But I agree.
That be fooling the people, Ryan. It's just like just because you're able to do it in practice.
If I didn't film it, nobody would have a clue that he was doing it.
Yeah.
So it's my fault.
people got to remember on Fabian though. Fabian was a good shooter coming out of high school.
Yeah, Fabian was
And
an exceptional shooter.
The thing that set Fabian apart in his early career is the fact that he was deadly from the elbow.
He was super deadly from the mid range. Super.
And he
I've always
extended it as he got older and got, thousands and thousands more shots. But he was a really good shooter from the elbow. And that was his bread and butter.
His shot. That I loved watching him shoot from there.
It was beautiful. That was old timey basketball.
Old timey with the peach baskets and everything. Does Sharp need to look for more off the dribble?
Yes. Next question.
Keep taking what the defense gives him.
Exactly.
Obviously, he can shoot. He shot fake. I think he shot it was one possession. I think he misses it, but he shot faked, and it wasn't even a good shot fake. But you've been watching the guy make threes all week on film, so they jump. He was able to just get to his one dribble midi pull, and I feel like he's a kind of underappreciated finisher around the rim. He could take the bump. He has a nice amount of hang time. So yeah, E-Man, I like how his game is progressing.
I think what made the one thing that maybe he's not as confident in yet to be driving more is probably his handle, because he's fast, he can finish well, he can shoot. I think I think by nature, at least here, he's been a catch and shoot guy, and so that's probably he's probably not, or maybe doesn't have the handle quite yet to be doing it a lot, but he definitely will at some point.
I'm going to tell you who I see in practice, who I think is so much faster than you're getting to see in games, is JoJo. There are drills and things that he does with the spin moves, and it's like, holy crap. And you're just not seeing it in games yet. And when you do, it'll just be like, I also think Cordell Jefferson is really fast. His shot, getting it up, is really fast in scrimmage, in practice. And I think when you see that in games, you'll be impressed with that guy too. Yeah. All right. Nobody gives a shit.
I like to watch these guys evolve over time.
Yeah.
And add new pieces to their game. And I think you've seen a couple of plays from JoJo making post moves where it's like, that's it. That's your move right there.
Yeah.
And then with
2 little floaters today.
With Sharp being able to take somebody off the dribble and go strong to the paint, it's like, okay, that's it. Once you show them you can do that, that opens up the outside and makes that jab step 1,000 times more effective.
I feel like the biggest leap that guys make in our program, like granted they get better and you're able to do this as opposed to the year before you weren't able to, but about the biggest leap guys make is their maturity, like just knowing what they can do and knowing what should be done at a given point in time. I remember Coach Samp, he would like when a team is going on a run, the last thing you want to do is kind of get up a quick shot. You kind of want to make them guard. And that was something that I kind of struggled with coming like my freshman year. He always be like, Galen, like time and score. It's like it wasn't the time to do that, and they're going on a run. So it's like be conscious of what's going on and decide based on that. Like you can't just always get up a quick shot when the team is going on a 10-0 run, because that's like they need to guard us because they're in the flow right now. If we get a quick shot and miss, then that's playing into now they're probably about to go on a 12-0 run.
And that's
you got to make those guys guard.
Your instant reaction is, okay, they're on a run. We need to get it shut off. We need to go quick, right?
Yeah, and it's just sometimes
the opposite
like
is
you try to like, especially on the road, and you got a crowd like that, and you kind of just like how the home team is feeding off the crowd's energy, the away team is too. So it's just like you kind of play into, oh, they feel like they're coming back. Let me do something. It's just like, nah, like stick to what we do. Like kind of wait them out, make them guard us, get the ball moved from side to side, get a good shot, and that'll be the best chance you have at stopping the run, as opposed to getting up something quick. Coach Sam calls it a vomit shot. You just throwing some shit up there, and then boom, they get a long rebound. Now they dunking, and now the place is screaming shits and whatever. So you gotta be able to. I feel like the film, seeing things on film, allows you to seeing it on film allows you to recognize it in person, and I feel like that's that's what sets our program apart. Just our ability to kind of just put things in perspective for guys and to allow our guys to kind of notice when those situations are taking place.
Jamal Shed just tweeted Malik Wilson and 6 exclamation points and then 3 muscle arms. So I think Jamal saw what we saw with Malik and how
He's
he
been
played.
one of the big Malik advocates, like since
Very
preseason.
much so.
Yeah.
And it's
he goes
on
against them in
court
practice.
and on the bench, and that's, I mean, their games look nothing alike, but they're peas in a pod. They are. Malik says that that Jamal's his biggest advocate, and he does. He gets to go against LJ and Jamal in practice every day. You're gonna get better. I mean, or you're gonna just get your ass worn out. And he probably gets that, but he's getting better.
But Jamal understands that, Malik was a player of the year in a conference and him having a different role. And he sees probably the ass chewing, but he sees the work that Malik puts in every day.
Yeah.
And it's just like, when you have to adjust your role, buy into a new one, and your margin of error is, so small, guys can recognize that. And when we're able to step up to the plate and produce under those circumstances, guys appreciate that. I'm sure Malik would probably love to be averaging 17, 18 points a game, but instead, in the second half and on the road against Cincinnati in the Big 12 in the conference game, he was able to make 8 winning plays, and probably more than that, but 8 to 10 winning plays in the second half to help us come out. That directly correlated to us having success on the offensive end. That's going to be all over. That's going to be all over the film, and I feel like for weeks we've been talking about Malik kind of showing little flashes and kind of buying into that role, and it's just like for it to come out in that environment, that's going to be a tremendous confidence booster for him, and who knows what the future holds going forward for him.
With him and JoJo both, they are getting better in Big 12 play. And you just didn't expect that. You didn't expect to see guys coming off the bench and getting better as this goes on. And I mean, that's obviously coaching, and it's recruiting the right people, and it's them putting in the work. And if Malik isn't getting these minutes he's been getting, he's just not getting better. And there's a plan, and it's working. And people have bitched about his minutes and Dunn's minutes, and you've got to get Jamal off the floor. You have to. You saw last year what happens when you don't. And you've got to have somebody capable. You can't just take Jamal off the floor March 1st. That's not how it works. And so you've got to build somebody, and that's what they've been doing with Malik. And I have seen it and wanted to talk to him, and glad we got the chance Thursday. And if you haven't seen that, go check it out on gocoogs.com or on YouTube. He's pretty cool.
One thing I hope we learn from and try to avoid in the future, if possible, is don't have Cryer and Shed out at the same time for extended
Cryer,
time.
Shed, Sharp.
Yeah, that leads to disaster.
This has never been said,
I guess, the 23
by a commenter.
Yeah. One thing I will say though with Coach, for him to trust you and your leash is short, the biggest way to earn his trust is to make big plays in a hostile environment. Because not only does Malik, like this week it was Malik, right? So not only is he feeling confident about the plays that he's making, but Coach is recognizing, like, hey, y'all seen what Malik doing? So by you having success in your role, it makes you more willing to buy into your role. It's like, you know what? I can be an energy guy. I can help us do this. I can help us do that because I'm the only guy that can. So it's just like it's like an avalanche. Once your confidence is built and you know that what you can do in the worst, like it'd be different if you played like this at home. But doing that on the road and at Cincinnati, second half you making winning plays, scoring big shots. That is the ultimate confidence booster.
Okay. Are you drunk yet?
Nah. This is light
Okay.
work.
Light work.
Do I sound like I am?
It's
No. But
recovery
we're
for the
going to
next
come
game.
back in about 2 hours and redo this, and let's see how that goes.
Nah, I'm be in the gym in 2 hours.
Wait a minute. You drink wine, then go to the gym?
Absolutely.
This NBA G League is not a real league. If you can
Shit.
get drunk and then
Shit.
go work out, I don't
Hold on,
believe
mean,
this is a
you
real
gotta
league.
remember
It's-
the
LeBron does
NBA.
that.
you
LeBron
throwing
does
around this drunk word. It's like, bro, I'm just getting a little loose. But I'll probably wait about an hour, then head to the gym, get my work in.
You
Didn't
forget
play last
the
game.
NBA was built
Then-
on vodka and cocaine.
Yeah, but that was after the game.
No, they came to the game already drunk from the night before.
Okay.
Then they got
I mean-
then they got cocaine in the sock, spike a rail, go hit a couple of threes, and go home.
I don't know what's happening.
You're the best, one of the best players ever, arguably the best player ever. LeBron James is maybe the biggest wine drinker of all time as well.
Facts.
So
And CJ McCollum.
yes,
Mm-hmm.
We haven't gotten to shout out drunk Galen yet. Yeah.
You know what's crazy? I was gonna do it early, but y'all were making some good points, and I was like, you know what? Let me shut up. Now's not the time.
Well, here's your chance.
But hey, Ryan, you know what I'm saying? I appreciate what you're doing, bro. You're doing some good shit, man.
Yeah. Keep going, buddy. Yeah, Malik, it's taken a while with Malik. It's not like he embraced this immediately, and it's not like he figured it out immediately either. And
I mean,
Kellen even told me
it's really been the last two games. I mean, the last two games, the
well, I
lights
think it's
clicked.
been longer than that. He's been building to it, but it's starting to click, turn over this week.
Right.
And I just feel like, but Malik has the ability, like, it's no surprise that Malik is able to do this to anybody in our program is because everybody knows how athletic and how dynamic he is. You know, you got a guy who probably the fastest run on the team, probably the highest jumping guard, long, athletic, being able to make winning plays, that's right up. That's easy for you to do. You know, you got those type of God-given abilities. So, I feel like in that aspect, he is more able to do that rather than Damian just because of his physical gifts. Now, if we're talking about, hey, go get a bucket, carry our team, that's Dame's strength. You know, he can probably do that better than Malik. But, you know, that's what makes our team – I think I wanted to touch on this earlier. That's what makes our team good is because one day it could be E-Man, one day it could be Maul, one day it can be Juan, one day it can be LJ. It's like you never know who the day is going to be. It's going to be it might be a day with a couple of those guys on the same day. So we can hurt you in a multitude of different ways. So it's just like I just felt that's what makes the team complete is a bunch of guys that can bring something different to the table.
Right.
If you just watched shooting drills and you picked a team, Malik would be last. You'd pick everybody else on the team before you picked him. But what he's done for you the last week and maybe the last 3 or 4 weeks is just something you're not going to see in a shooting drill. And it's something you need. We said the other day, Ramon Walker is going to win you games. Well, so is Malik, and he may have done it today.
Yes.
If you don't get those 8 culture plays and those rebounds and the 3 steals, you maybe don't win this game. Maybe that crowd is in a different spot late in this game. So, you know, you just gotta be impressed with that guy, and he's waited his turn.
That's why you gotta stick with it, man. Coach Q, one thing that I will compliment him on is how much of a compliment he is to Big Coach. Like, he knows that at any given moment, anything can happen, and the next guy has to be ready. So it will be like he holds everybody to the same standard. Nobody gets a pass. And it's like by Malik being a Louisiana guy, he probably kind of raises the stakes on Malik a little bit just because, like, whenever it's your turn, you're going to absolutely be ready. So, like hats off to Coach Q because I know the amount of extra hours and extra time that he spends with those guys and how much he demands of those guys because, whenever opportunity comes, You never know, but he's going to have our guys ready.
Just the expectations on Louisiana guys all the time. They're just so high. And, we just deliver.
We do have a great connection with Louisiana, man.
You have a great connection with Malik and going back to Elvin and Don Chaney and, Benny Anders. You've had a lot of
who I was alive to see. So I was thinking about Corey and Deke.
Well, I didn't get there. That's all New Orleans boys. That's a special thing.
With Kelvin himself, Quantis and Hollis.
Yeah, Q, HP, man. Bryson, I forgot about BMO.
Bryson, yeah.
Xavier.
Yeah, Big J.
Xavier.
Yeah.
That New Orleans connection has worked out pretty well for this program under Kelvin Sampson. And,
I remember Coach Samp. Oh, this is a funny shit.
It ain't that funny. Okay. Definitely not drunk, but he's cracking himself up.
Remember my freshman year, right? It was me and Ronnie Johnson. And he was like, Galen, son, what type of car do you drive? He was like, Alexis. I said, Alexis. He was like, Ronnie, son, what type of car do you drive? I think Ronnie said a Cadillac. And then he was like, that's the problem. Our two guards, they drive a Lexus and a Cadillac. He was like, that's why I don't recruit kids with 2-car garages. They're not tough enough. I was like, damn, how does that correlate to basketball? And I remember leaving like, damn, why the fuck my mama have a 2-car garage?
Oh, you cul-de-sac motherfuckers.
You gotta roll up in an 87 Corolla.
Oh, man. I was like, Coach is wild for that one, man. Wild as hell.
That's kind of funny.
I thought so.
Tricked out CRX.
Guys. 2-car garages. All right, let's go ahead and go to final thoughts. We've done a pretty good job of talking this one through. Brad Towns.
Ugly but necessary. They ain't gonna come pretty on the road. The most important thing is get it done. I was struggling.
Larry the Cable Guy.
I was struggling to watch there for about an hour, and it turned out okay. So,
what do you mean you're struggling to watch?
Just in that first half when everything was falling apart.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's not like you didn't watch 20 years of this.
Exactly. That's because it reminds me of that.
Okay. So it's PTSD.
Because they're better than that. They're much better than that. They weren't playing. Right. They weren't playing to their level, and it was good to see them take that punch, get up, and go back and start delivering again.
Galen, what you got, buddy?
I just felt like tonight just kind of cemented that we can win in a multitude of ways. Obviously, in transition, when we're making shots, we can get up and down. But I just thought that it was in the second half, especially, there was a few times where we kind of picked whichever matchup we wanted to attack, and I thought that we had success in the second half doing that. And I just feel like on the night as a whole, where our offense wasn't going where it wasn't ideal, we still found a way to win, which is who we are as a team and who we are and who we tried to become as a program. So I just think our guys are fully bought in just because we have great leadership, starting with our head coach and trickling down to our starting point guard. So I don't feel like there is anything that we aren't ready to face, because we can win pretty, we can win ugly, because you got a group of guys who their mindset is win.
What is Galen writing down? That could be fascinating, or it could be kind of.
boring. You said final thoughts, so I just wanted to write some shit down that I was thinking. Lastly, so just just to help
there
me.
You go,
so I'm
Sean.
not all over the place. Yeah, shout out to Sean, man.
Yeah, shout out Sean. All right.
You avoided the trap game, one of the trap games. You weathered the storm, and now you're 500 on the road in the Big 12 through 6 road games, and now you're 8-3 in the Big 12. You cannot ask for any better than that. We've said it before. and now you have a week off to recover. This team is in a great position moving forward, and you got 7 games left, and now the majority of them are at home where you've been undefeated. So you put yourself in a great position with this win, and yeah.
I mean, that's really it. You've been really good in close games. The last 3 road games have been close. BYU, you were tied at 68, and you go on a 7-0 run, all free throws.
3 out of 4.
Yeah. Well, that one wasn't close. That was never close. But did I say 3 in a row? I meant 3 close road games. Because Kansas was not. You got within 10, I think, in the second half, and never any closer. But
Within
3
10.
straight close road games at BYU, at Texas, and then at Cincinnati. And those are, at least 2 hard places to play. Also, Texas.
I mean, shit, even before that, though, even at TCU and
at TCU and Iowa State,
every road
you had
game
a
is
chance.
had a
every
chance
road
every
game's
single
close
time.
unless you get blown out at Allen Fieldhouse for their Super Bowl. But yeah, I mean, this team is done everything you could expect it, and I think even Kelvin Sampson is thinking to himself, "This team's given me everything I could have asked for," because if this team were just 2% worse on defense, on rebounding, on effort, you could have 5 losses on the road. And so, they haven't made the shots, but they've given you everything. And when it's come down to it, they've won close games. They did it at Xavier. They did it against Utah, in Charleston, and then these last 3 close road games.
And the big takeaway on that is they're still not close to reaching their potential.
Nope. And you're on that one line and haven't come close to reaching potential.
Yep.
If you can get 2 guys hot at the same time, and you don't want it now, you need it in March. But it could be fun to watch.
I mean, I wouldn't even say get 2 guys hot. I would just say
one guy hot,
or just get one. I would say if you can get guys doing their season average as far as field goal percentage goes,
playing their roles,
if they're just playing their normal game, this team becomes really, really, really dangerous.
Absolutely.
I don't know. I don't know where the ceiling is on the potential, because I don't think there is one.
Yeah, and this year it's so wide open. I don't think there's dominant teams. I think that this team could lose in the Sweet 16. This team could play for a national title, and the effort and what it looks like is not much different. Yeah, but you're going into your kind of week off, whatever you want to call it, first place in the league. You won 1 games. Things are pretty good. And we're going to analyze the hell out of it, but things are pretty good.
Yeah.
And so this program and the fans have to just be thrilled with where everything is.
Ryan, all of y'all, Coach Samp, he used to have this saying. He'd be like, "Son, Miss America's walking by and you're worried about a bunion on her foot." And it's just like,
he said that to us before.
You know what I'm saying? It's just like, you could find something wrong, but we won. Isn't that what matters? Isn't that the most important stat? Yeah, our offense was this, our defense was that, but did we win? And, I think the reason why this team's potential is so high is because Coach, he calls it their give a shit factor is high. Like, it was a couple of plays where I think Jizzle might have got downhill and you got guys like flying around trying to beat it off the glass. And it's just like, our guys care. And I feel like that is what separates us.
Yeah. But do not discount foot health.
Come on.
Bunions are bad.
If Miss America can get away with, subpar feet, respect.
I don't care if she has feet.
Starns.
There's that
Certain
too.
certain shit you got to keep to yourself, brother.
I'll just
Yeah.
get a few back. I'll get a backpack, drag her around.
We're gonna
But
go.
like-
I got a special announcement. We got our
Why are more
Dry-
people
dry-
getting on this?
dry fit shirts dropping soon. OneSubstantial.com. Subscribe
Ooh,
because they
nice.
will be here by the time March Madness arrives.
They'll
So
be
please
Houston versus everybody. Will they be gray? What are we looking at?
Ryan, they'll be whatever you want them to be. They're going to be gray, red, black, white, and then I'm going to do of course, baby blue.
Okay, I was wondering about that one.
Yeah, so it's
We're
going to be
pimping
5
the
to
hell
choose
out of
from.
this. 5.
Yeah. Yeah, so
Okay.
yeah, gray, red, black, white, baby blue.
Mom, Galen's gonna make sure you have one. He'll pay for it, but you're gonna make sure you save one for her. But yeah. So all right, thank y'all so much. That was fun. We're gonna take a little bit of a break here this week, and no games, but whatever. GoCoogs.com, OneSubstantial.com, TheDailyCougar.com, and whatever for towns. But thank y'all. Check it out. Sorry guys to give Ryan that ammo.
The Cougar has stuff coming out that will be very good.
Very good. Missed it. U of H won. Yeah. Nice. I assume that's about the shirts.
Nice.
Whatever. All right. Thank y'all.
All right,
Later.